So my name is Aditya. Many years back, as a teenager, when my parents asked us, what do you want to be? I said I wanted to be a teacher. And my father said, teaching is a noble profession, leave it for noble people. So I went to the advisory business. Been doing it for more than a decade. My job, like all of you, is to build perception. Number one, make unknown known. Number two. Number three, step up the competition. Make them disturbed by the small, tiny movers moving up the game. So if I really understand all these things, as a product marketer, I just want to show you something. Just identify yourself.
This is a job for
Boom Sports.
Okay. But I hope you realize your transformation is through the telephone booth as a product marketing person. That analyst channel is an often ignored channel as a product marketer to get transformed. It's taken as, oh, get me into a magic quadrant. Okay, I'll give you a personal anecdote. 2017, start of the year, I was surrounded by a 3x population of this group in a place called Mysore in India. And the ask was, get us into Gartner Magic Quadrant. So I asked them, at what position? He said, no, just get us into the Gartner Magic Quadrant.
Really? Because not every quadrant's good. Like that bottom left one has to go.
And you know who asked this question? The head of strategy of an $18 billion company. That was the question. And I was too young. So I moved on and tried understanding some of the basics of bringing a brilliant metaphor, actually. My mentor taught me, it's a very funny one, but let's start with the basics one. Step one, if knowing is knowing, where does the analyst stand? Why do they matter to you? Take a look at the perception. In terms of the buying, most influential fact of information on your purchase decisions. Number one, old data still stands valid, no changes. They still remain that. Number two, if you're looking at getting invested, which I believe you are looking for the next stage. Some of you are pretty young, like me. Analyst buy-in. Okay? Any question? Okay, I'll move on to the next one just to give you a perception. But reminding you of 2-3 things. An analyst is not a buyer of your product or services. They are not an investor into your product and services. And yet they matter for simple reasons. Lesson number 2 from my father. There are 2 kinds of fools in this world. Those who give advice, those who don't take it. And analysts are actually on that advisory business where the exchange of information happens in a very, very packaged format. So it's not spray and pray that happens in the digital era. It's a very, very structured two-way communication, far more beyond the imaginations of your owners or of your key stakeholders. It is only a magic quadrant or a wave that they should be interested into. So if I move on, how does this work? I'm sorry. Oops, sorry, can I go back? Sorry. On your left-hand side, sorry. Can I go back quickly? How do I go back? Okay. All right. You have an intention to earn, you have a desire to learn, and that's where your entire play becomes so critical. Look at your stakeholders. These are your analysts. The green ones are your information flows. That's how they process information. That's your learn side. There is a commercial angle to learn side. You have to pay. And that's where your leaders think analyst relations is all pay for play. Agreed? Disagreed? Okay. Let's go to the right side. You want to earn with them. There is an intention to make deals. There is an intention to influence the press. You want to train your users. You want to influence other vendors? Most important, get funded next level. That's where the role of analyst becomes so prominent in nature. Okay, whether we are large like Salesforce or LinkedIn or Microsoft or any other company, or whether we are a small 30 people company, that's your very, very well-defined play. Number of magic quadrants, each, I've given you certain numbers, number of waves, each magic quadrant has an ignored cousin called Gartner Critical Capability Document, which is far, far useful if you really use it properly. But just get me into the magic quadrant. Okay, so that's a quick one, but I thought I should give you a picture quickly. Moving further, I want you to have your eyes on something, okay? 2016, they started conceiving that they will write a magic quadrant or a Forrester wave, let's put it this way. 2017, it came out. This is my company. Mind you, I come from a product world called AI, where unlike ChatGPT, AI stands for almost implemented. Okay? So when I come from that era and had to establish first, this is where we landed. Year one, HVerb, my company. Look at the commentary. Enviable position, may not be a leader, okay? But as a product marketer, look at the commentary that gets generated. Best suited for companies that need services and products. Most simplistically done. Use it wherever you want to use it. That was year one. Year two, we got the pulse of the analyst. We realized that none of the analysts, by the way, work alone. They work with different other analysts to get consulted on what they should write in the questionnaire to make the life tough for everyone. And it's my job, and people like me who have a job, remember what's my job? Make unknown known. Second, we are in the perception building business. If we are in the perception building business, unless I make my leaders uncomfortable and up on the seat and start pull up the socks and whatever adjectives you want to add up, this movement will not happen. We anchored on certain things on the bottom, if you look at it. We find out and we coach the analysts. CyberArk is the ultimate security protocol an RPA vendor should align to, because CyberArk was a leader in Forrester Wave then. We anchored there. Then we have GDPR angles. We have customer data angles. And a lot of things we started pulling one after another with the analysts, and we went after this company. You know this company? We used to call it Blue Prism. It's a very, very popular company, Blue Prism, in automation world. We went after specifically only this one company. That's year one. Look at this movement. Year two, and something happened in year three. Can you see the company here? Look at the commentary again. And this is Forrester's commentary, not my commentary. Best suited for enterprise-grade companies, looking for da-da-da-da-da. Some stats. In 2019, the RPA software world was $1.4 billion in market size. The leader, UiPath, owns 25% of the market share, then also. Another leader, my employer, owned 1.8% market share. You understand the difference? I hope. What can be done even if there is no parity? Okay. So your job of working with people like me is creating an enviable position, an outstanding commentary which can be reused and reused for all your collaterals, if you really move on this. Okay, let's find out a few more things. This is the only wave that came. It's called Enterprise Insights Platform, which came in 2019 by an analyst who was an ex-mariner like me. Do you see the August company here? You have IBM, Microsoft, SAS, SAP, TIPCO, this is Good Data, this is Google, Reltio, and this is. By the way, did I explain how does a wave and MQ structure? You have a fair idea? Shall I give you? Strategy, execution, dot size is your market size or a revenue size. Do you see edge verb somewhere if I remove edge verb? Is the dot giving you any idea? But do you see the company in which we are? It's a small company. That's why. And the headline that came on Google is edge verb is in the company of Google, IBM, SAS, Microsoft. And that was the headline on Google. It still exists like that. Again, I have another example. Take a look at this example. This came when all your contract lifecycle management, all your document extraction becomes so big. Bottom, but look at the commentary. Let's move on. How we did it? You all, I think Sudeep covered here. Hi, Sudeep. Sudeep covered the product lifecycle, and I think we all are familiar with this part. You remember every stage an analyst was injected. Every stage an analyst was consulted or advised. Tell us what to do in this space. RPA saturated. What is the next complementary technology in RPA world? Analyst said process mining. You had process gold. You have so many companies. Then said Discover, another product that came for task mining that keep getting as a plan exercise. An analyst was injected for every product launch. We did 5 between 2008 and 2018 and 2019. We did 5 major product launches. Every time, same analyst was in public with us. Hence the change. If knowing is doing, if knowing is knowing and doing is doing, my mentor used to say, and if knowing is doing, nobody would have got married. Think over it. Why is this so difficult a task? Think over it this way. I left the organization up quarter before that. We lost the momentum of engagement, the principles and everything. See what happened here. We came back narrowly to where we were. In Gartner, this was a very unfortunate scenario. We were here, previous versions. For 2 years we maintained it. We got kicked out. That's the difficulty of running this program. That's the challenge. So when your leaders ask for pay for play, in my previous company, my CEO said, I can cut a check of $2 million. Just get me there. That's it, plain and simple. And I said, try. It's kind of difficult, right? Okay. Now there is something I think we skipped. Can I go back? Is it okay? Can I go back? I want to show you something. Just go back. I think we skipped somewhere. But this is from your 10K reports filed with Securities and Exchange Commission. Page 1. Sorry. Page 1. This is Zoom for you. Why it is important? I'm sorry I skipped this chapter. But then, this is Coupa. Kindly read for your own self. So please don't miss this KRA or push your leaders to ask for this thing. But this is a critical one. They are asking it very publicly. If you move on further, I picked it up from Salesforce. Sorry? Yep. This is from your Salesforce investors report. Interestingly, for a career tip, there are 19 magic quadrants only on CRM software. There are 6 on CRM services, and there are another 19 magic quadrant on CRM related technologies. That's how vast, and it's the largest market. If you're looking at it as a product marketing career, that's the market. You should explore that. Okay, can I move on? We came back. So again, a summary. Probably I'm running a little fast, but just to give you a picture, please don't ignore the telephone booth for yourself. These are certain things. Few tasks. If you're working with people like me, think of few tasks setting it up. Most important, understand the right market category you are working with. Probably this is the starting step of understanding it. There are white spaces sometimes. And you have seen very young people coming up, or all young companies coming up. For example, coming back to the RPA world, it's totally obliterated by Microsoft now. It's totally taken over by SAP now. There is no UiPath or Blue Prisms or automation anywhere or anything else, just taken away. But the early movers, the early investors, and the early employees actually gained. I know somebody personally who made $100 million in UiPath IPO. So it happened. But first case first, market first, right market category. Second, ROI is an off-beaten term, and analysis is probably one of the best channels in explaining it to you or to the buyers. Remember the learn side analysts? If you need to spend with them, that's the category. Analysts do a lot of positioning work with the buyers. Have you ever asked any of the analysts what would be your top 3 recommended list of vendors? Ask them. Or one of the things that I used to do, I used to ask them something after a briefing is done, because these are like most common channels, right? After a briefing is done, we do a follow-up inquiry, and while people ask their questions, I ask only one question. If you know what you knew from us 3 months back, how would your conversations change with the buyer? That's a way of gauging whether an analyst really matter. Does he or she really know the game? Or, they're just there. This came from a previous speaker, I believe, who mentioned about being nice to the analysts. And remember one more warning, and friendly analysts doesn't mean great ratings. It has never happened. It will not happen. Okay? Whatever they say that they are objective or not, we just broke one myth. With 1.8% market share, we were a leader. But again, I'm saying, if you really want to get into the being friendly and all, you can have a lot of personal favors, you can have a lot of off-beaten coffee conversations with them. That helps in preparing your leaders, waking up sometimes. Last week, we had a conversation with a very senior industry analyst. We talked about mental health and countering that with the wellness offerings. And she said, be very careful, because when you say something that you offer it, that means it's an acknowledgement of the fact that there is some problem with, because it's a taboo subject still. So use the words wisely. That's what the analysts help you do that. Classify that. They have a far better definition, alignment to that definition. So if you merge 4 and 1, you will understand what category that analyst is working on or writing about. That definition matters. A deviation don't help you. Whatever your leaders say, we are not this, they are not understanding it, doesn't matter. Saying goes just like the Wall Street, no one has ever lost his job by investing in. Yes, it works like that. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It cannot stop. Ask for a critic. They are the best critics, trust me. If you make them sit with you in a room with the leaders, and by the way, they are great ego levelers. If your leaders really think they know the game, bring them with an analyst. Make it a repeat conversation. They will be dusted, ironed, settled. Okay? And some of them are. They still believe that they are the pioneers in that industry. They are. Market doesn't believe that. And your P ratios or evaluations will validate that. Last part, start with mentions. Most important part. Start with small mentions. Don't just jump to a magic quadrant. Oh, this is the magic quadrant I want to be part of. It's a 12 or 14-month exercise, right? Start to finish. It gets refreshed like that. And you have lots of magic quadrants. So question number 1 repeated. Are you in the right category? Question number 4 again. Are you in the right definition of the analyst? Do you align to that? Okay, few suggested readings if you would like to read more on this topic. Okay, probably you will get a copy of this, but it's on LinkedIn. I'm here on LinkedIn if you want to connect or ask me any further questions. But this doesn't end. There's a probable workshop being planned by PMM in Vegas. I hope to conduct that workshop on some more topics, some more details. But to take it or leave it, in my personal context, half of the website traffic in my employer's journey is driven by the content hosted or written by analyst community. So that's digital for you. Same goes for nurturing a pipeline. Giving a quick example, 2017-18 period, one of the largest consumer electronics player from UK, or should I say Holland, came to us and said, we don't want to be a part of your parent company services. We are automating a 3,000 people business and we are going to Blue Prism because that's also in UK or European market. And we engage with an analyst to stop that transition that deal, make it an automation deal. It came back to us, and 2 years later, Forrester wrote a case study on top of it, which is still one of the largest RPA case studies in the world. And that became a signature kind of a thing. That's where an analyst becomes so important, because that becomes your tool to throw in an event, in a field event, or to a buyer, or anywhere you would like to have. Okay, so that's a bit from my side.
Awesome. So we have one question that we'll cover. Hold the clap, guy. Okay, you get 2 claps. You get 2 claps.
Thank you.
It's fine. Okay. Okay, we'll make this a 2-part question. How can you work with analysts to define a new market category, aka a quadrant doesn't exist, or on the flip side, where something's super saturated and we're seeing lots of convergence, or oh, surprise, Gartner made up a new term and there's a whole new quadrant play there. Tell us more.
I'll give an example. So CRM will remain. It will not go out of business. But CRM's features are getting lifted and shifted to become CDP. Even it is getting crowded, you have a CDP coming up. That's how they revive it, number one. Number two, if they really feel that market gets commoditized, they will retire that magic quadrant or that wave. They're very, very smart that way. You need to understand one more thing. In terms of creating a category, this is where pay for play doesn't work, but it does influence the game. A good analyst, please classify your own goodness, a good analyst would look at a minimum of $1 million of advisory business before seriously considering a new category. Minimum. Now you can be alone, or you can partner with your 2 or 3 small young competitors and go together to the analyst and explain that scenario. Or stage 3, you nurture a young, hungry analyst which is ignored, newly joined, or old but getting retired as your go-to analyst and create that new category. It is possible.
You guys, it can happen, even if it's Gartner and you don't really like them, but it's possible. We really don't have another option. Okay, thank you, Aditya. Big clap.
Thank you.